twist. And the crowd are loving this.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
The drive is no longer on local community.
Look after the British people.
Invest in public services.
Combat the cost of living crisis.
The general election 2024.
This is the voice of the UK.
Nihal Arthanayake.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
Yes. Bridgerton is back for its third season and finds Penelope Featherington deciding at the ripe old age of 19 that it's time to take a husband. I wanted this script to be written entirely in the style of Bridgerton, so that I could say, why, I pronounce it to be the most fantastical jape of the season. You wonderful human beings. Nicola, Coughlan and Luke Newton. I'll go back to speaking how I usually speak because it's tiring, isn't it, that? Jeez. It really is. Luke and Nicola, hello.
Hello.
Lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so you are, without question, the hardest working people in show business because I have never seen two people do more interviews to promote a show than this, right? I've been around Ed Sheeran at the beginning of his career. I've been around all these people that are grafters, but this... So, right now, where we're at, after your 738th interview of the day, probably, what are the questions now that you are so sick of answering that you automatically answer it without even having to think about what you're saying? It's like it just comes out of you now, these words.
Oh, I feel like it's more about the questions from part one. You know, we've been through that now and gone through all of those. So it's actually been really fresh and exciting to talk about part two and not so much about the spoilers of it.
That's very diplomatic. I'll give you a non-diplomatic one. I don't like
Nicola.
do something in 3 words.
Oh yeah.
You get that all the time. Do it
name the show in 3 words.
Yeah. What's the season? What's the feeling? What's her in 3? I don't know. That's my one.
Yeah.
Why are people so busy that they can only deal with 3 words? Right? Let me at least have a sentence.
Make a sentence, please.
That's so bizarre. And also, again, around the interviews, the obsession with the two of you doing, as my mum used to call it, horizontal gymnastics, right? So the amount of questions about you two having carnal relations on screen that you've had to answer from complete strangers like me.
Yeah. It's quite wild.
Yeah. There was a lot in the island trip. I feel like they feel quite familiar with us.
In Ireland? Yeah.
They like to go straight into the juicy questions.
And you're like, oh no, I was going to say something. They'll ask you about it.
No, but wait a minute, Nicola, is that something about the Irish that will just go, come on, right?
Yeah. They're like, it's like, sure, we know you. I'm like, what? Irish, we think we know everybody. I'm like, no, we've just met.
Yeah.
You can't be asking about sexy scenes like that.
When you first met with the intimacy coordinator, Lizzie, wasn't it? Lizzie Talbot.
Yes, Lizzie Talbot.
And I read some interviews with her in preparation for this. I thought it was quite interesting that the list of things that you're not comfortable with, you can set out from the start, won't do this. What were on your lists of things that you were going to go, okay, that, in the words of Meatloaf, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
I don't know, because the show is also the show has its limitations anyway.
Totally. Someone said the other day in an interview, they're like, "You're doing full frontal nudity." I'm like, no one does full frontal nudity on Bridgerton. It ain't that kind of show.
Yeah. So because that was off the cards, and maybe it was just that. I don't know. Yeah. I feel, and also there was a trust in the show that we had some amazing directors this year, and we felt like they were going to just showcase us in the best way, in the best light. And I just, we did those scenes and you have no idea how they're going to look. And then I knew that they'd make it look really romantic and sexy, but also gentle and real. Yeah.
Luke, can you give a shout out to the friend whose sofa you were sleeping on at the time when you found out you got this role?
You know what? He's going to be so pleased you asked me to do that as well. Shout out to Jack. Thank you so much for having me all that time. We also, it's like, I've got some really good memories of that time. I loved it so much. So yeah, thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. He's still there. He's still on the ride with me. He's been coming to events with me, and so much fun. You've met him.
Yeah, I've met Jack. He's great crack. Yeah.
And it's a shame, because if this had been pre-prepared, I would have had Jack on the phone now to ask. Can you imagine if Jack? Because what, Nicola?
I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't.
He's a wild one.
Jack on live radio. I think
me too.
a bit of a bullet there.
Nicola, what? Now that you know Luke quite well, how would you think he would be like to be the kind of bloke that would be sleeping on your sofa?
Oh, I think he'd be a delight. I was talking to him today about being a really good travel buddy.
Yeah.
What did you say? I mean, Luke is so easy. Like, and we have had to see each other many early mornings, many night shoots, and I've been with him in Brazil and Australia, and he is the most easygoing guy. Yeah, he's a dream.
Okay, hygienic, tidying up after yourself, Luke.
Are you messy?
Not really. My room can sometimes be a bit messy, but like I like to, I shower sometimes 3 times a day.
Oh,
I'm a clean boy. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And this is I'm taking this to all tangents here. If you shower though, are you the kind of guy that makes sure the shower is clean once you've left it?
Yeah.
You shower it down, and I need Jack to really clarify that this was the case.
Yeah, you do. I know. I can't remember what that flat was even like that we were living in at the time. God, I'd hate to see. I know
I can't. Yeah.
Two guys playing PlayStation all day and ordering takeaway. But no, I think now now I'm getting into being an adult. I'm all good with the shower, keeping it clean. I didn't expect the interview to go this way, to be honest.
Yeah, listen, mate. Listen, you come onto my show. You come onto my show. You're not getting the normal questions. Trust me.
We love it.
So Nicola, would you think of Luke as a grafter? Like he's a really hard-working actor?
Yeah, you know what? I feel like he was a great partner to have in this because he cared. I have a real bugbear with actors that take acting jobs and then act like they're too good for it. But Luke came into this season with the same attitude I had when we both really love the show, want to do service to the fans and the writers and the crew and everything. And it was great. So I would say, you're definitely a grafter.
We just gave, this season, we just gave everything. We had no life. We've talked about
no life.
Like
so
outside
boring.
Of the show, there was nothing. It was just like all consuming. And then actually even, doing this long promo tour, like it's kind of been the same. It's just been, like,
promo
the focus has been on this. So
start of 4th of January.
Oh my God.
And we're done tomorrow.
And Luke, how would you describe Nicola in terms of her work ethic?
Oh, the ultimate pro, but also like we've always said how we keep it really fun. Like we didn't take it too seriously, even in terms of like the intimacy stuff. Like we had moments when like furniture broke and we would laugh about it, and we like just kept our communication so strong.
Yeah.
And obviously Nick's hilarious. Like
not only
in character, but in real life. So it was just we've had a great time.
Yeah, we have.
The reason I asked the question about Luke, Nicola, I don't know if you've seen an interview he did with In Style, where they asked him, "What do you do in the mornings?" And he goes, "I go out and get coffee, then I go back to bed and put the TV on." And then they said, "What do you do last minute before you go to bed?" And he goes, "Oh, I watch TV." They were the 2 answers he gave for his.
Yeah, but at least that's honest. I love when people are honest rather than people. People like, what's your morning routine? Like, I wake up, I do my gratitude journal, and
Orlando Bloom.
And then, well, maybe
do you remember the Orlando Bloom thing that he did in Sunday Times? A day in the life or something, and it was amazing. Go and look that up. Yeah. After we finish this, go and look that up, because that's.
Why don't people just say I scroll on my phone? Because we all bloody do it. Yeah. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's what happened.
Yeah.
So one thing that I was interested in was how relatively short your audition process was, Nicola, compared to Derry Girls. Derry Girls was 6 months.
6 months.
Was it? Shit.
Oh, killer. So I did the first one, and then I didn't hear for a while, and then had a recall, and then went away, and then I think it was maybe 3 or 4 in total, and then the final one was a chemistry read with the other cast members, and it was arduous. But this, Bridgerton felt too easy. It was one and done, and I was like, "There's a catch. There's surely a catch."
And
crazy.
And you, Luke, you'd done 5 auditions that week that you found out you got the job.
It was for multiple things, so it was hard to know what to focus on, and we'd got like a small amount of the script. I hadn't had the whole script, just like some sides. And the language is quite unique, and like even your intro, we heard very sort of a good demonstration of it. How like the characters are quite eloquent, and they speak in this sort of old fashioned sense. So trying to get my head around that, my first audition was terrible, and I was focusing on other things. And then I was fortunate enough to be called back in, and by that time I had more material and had a bit of time to focus on it. And then I felt ready, and also I was back in for Colin at that point, so I was like, yeah, this feels like a bit of me.
Can you switch back into ton talk?
Yeah.
Do you? Like, do you go, can you go and go, do you know what, let's go Tom talk for a little while.
When I spend a bit too much time with Jonathan Bailey, I start to get more posh, I think.
I hear your accent switching. Yeah.
Some of the promo clips, I look back, and because he speaks very well, like I start to talk more like him. Funny. And then I have to kind of flip that back when I see my mates in the pub.
Did being in Bridgerton make you think about how common you are compared to...
Well, it's a really non-posh cast, I have to say. There's very few genuinely posh people.
Yeah, totally.
We are not posh. Claudia's not posh.
No, we've got Golda.
Golda's not. Aj is not.
Yeah.
Like, there's so...
It's quite nice that everyone has to sort of elevate it slightly.
Hannah used to be a cleaner. Like, it's a very... So we just play pretend at being posh. We're not posh at all.
Which is kind of ironic, considering over the last few years there's been quite a conversation about very posh people getting into acting.
Yeah.
And coming from incredibly good backgrounds.
It's incredibly difficult to break into the industry if you have no connections. It's really, really hard. But the majority of people in the show, that's their story, and had to really work for it.
There's also like a link where a lot of the cast have come from theatre, and we have a sense of that on set, where it feels like a rehearsal room at times, and it feels like that kind of all connects us in a way. It all like roots us together, that we all like, you know, grew up doing in whatever capacity, doing some sort of theatre, and diving into that together, like a shared experience. Yeah.
How many Bridgerton WhatsApp groups are there, and are you lurkers or are you participants?
How many? I don't know how many. You're in the Bridgerton Brothers one.
Yeah. I'm in Bridgerton Bros, and then there's one per season we have. Yeah,
we change it each season
because the cast just keeps expanding.
It's huge.
Huge.
So we've got one that's been active in the last few days for this season.
But I've been useless this year. I've been the most boring.
But Nick is good at the technical stuff, like when something's shared and it's like, whatever it is, trying to raise money for something or whatever it is, it's like Nick will be like, here's the actual link. Like if people can't work it out, Nick will be like, here's what you actually
my mom is like, you're a technical genius. I'm like, I'm really not.
Do you have a headset and say, Nicola, Coughlan, IT support?
Right, logging in, off I go.
Your admin for the day. Group chat.
It's interesting that Luke mentioned that about raising money, because Nicola, you know, to make that decision that you did, say, look, I want to make sure that what's going on in Gaza and what's going on in Rafah, I want to be part of the solution, not obviously in a diplomatic sense, but in a, if I can help, I can help. What was the thought process you went through? Because a lot of celebrities are terrified of saying the wrong thing. Can you just talk us through the thought process?
100%. I mean, I think, like, I'd say back a couple of years ago, I've always taken an interest in many, many different causes. And I used to go like door to door campaigning for marriage equality back home. And I did, you know, work with Amnesty for abortion rights in Northern Ireland and all of that kind of stuff. And when this was happening, what a lot of people don't know is that my dad used to work with the Irish Army, who are a peacekeeping force. And he was involved in UNTSO, the United Nations Truth Supervision Organization, in the late 70s. So my family lived in Jerusalem. So, you know, I heard from him about the experience. My family loved living there, and there's a huge connection between Ireland and Palestine that a lot of people don't know about. And then I'm involved with Artists for Ceasefire, so that's the pin that I wear on a lot of my promo stops. And it's a collective of artists who want to come together. It's a call on Joe Biden to, you know, sort of address the situation. And it's about, you know, immediately sending aid into Gaza, the release of all the hostages, a permanent ceasefire. And I think people are, you know, people can misunderstand what it's about, but I'm like, that's what it is at the core of it. It's like, let's support all innocent people. And I think at the moment, there's such goodwill towards us and this show. And I'm like, if I can, you know, take some of that attention and divert it to aid organizations, to people who are on the ground in Rafah, it's a super easy thing for me to do. So I'm very happy to do that.
Have you faced much backlash for it? Or is it something that you don't really connect with?
You know what? If you're a person in the public eye, you'll face backlash for everything. I'll face backlash for wearing a dress people didn't like. I'll face backlash for changing my hair. This is such an important thing, and it's such an important time in history. And I have such a platform, which I won't never have this kind of platform again. And I'm like, it's more important to me to amplify those voices than worry about comments I'm getting, you know, that kind of way.
And how are you with that, Luke, in terms of not specifically what happened in Gaza and Rafah, but in terms of standing for something? Because the pressure is on, And you'll get this, like everyone in the public eye does. Why aren't you saying something about this? Why aren't you saying something about that? What is your reaction to that, especially the more famous you become?
Yeah, totally. I think I try to focus on like learning and educating myself as much as possible. And like, you know, with stuff that Nick puts out there, like it's always really useful for someone like me because I don't spend loads of time online and social media. So
that's a good thing, by the way.
Yeah. But being able to get access to that, like from people like Nick, is just really beneficial for me. So it's just about me kind of figuring out my journey in that and where I place myself there. But yeah, that's it's been amazing to see everything that's been going.
It's been incredible. And just give us, what is the latest amount that you've raised in euros for the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund?
It's 1.7 million at my last check, and it's still on Instagram. So if anyone would like to share that fundraiser and donate to it, we had some amazing people share it. Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter, Jenna Ortega all shared it, which was because I started it. I always started really small. So my aim was 10K. The fact that it's gotten to that, I never thought it would get to that. But it's going to an aid organization and people that are in dire need of help right now. And yeah, if you know any Bridgerton fans who are watching the show and find that on my Instagram, it's a brilliant thing.
Bridgerton makes you a global star. Actually, to be fair, I mean, look, the fact that Martin Scorsese loved Derry Girls is like, I mean,
so wild.
I mean, who have you discovered is a Bridgerton fan that has blown your mind?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God, it's surprising. I don't know why.
I mean, not much is going to top Scorsese like in Derry Girls. Let's be honest.
Pretty crazy.
No, it's just because it's so.
Miss Kelly Rowland was a big one. I was talking about it the other day. Like I remember going to see Destiny's Child as a teenager. She's such an icon.
You got a follow on Instagram?
Yeah, J-Lo followed me on Instagram. I was like, J-Lo, that's like a real celebrity. Oh my gosh. Kim K.
Did you DM her? Wait a minute. Did you DM her?
J-Lo? No, I haven't. I've not been brave enough. Well, I don't. What did you say to J-Lo?
You say, I'm Nikki from the block.
Yeah. Not yet. Well, I feel like Luke and Pitbull have a friendship that's about to form.
We're Mr. Worldwide, we connect. Because his song in part one, he's been sharing a lot of the stuff online on social media. So I'm hoping at some point to connect Mr. Worldwide to Mr. Worldwide. I'm excited.
Okay, all right. So wait a minute, because we know, Luke, you can sing, right? We all know that.
Oh yeah, he can.
Right. So
I know where this is going.
So come on, you Pitbull and Nick now can DM J-Lo directly for a feature.
Yeah. Wow, we can get a real.
It's all coming together.
Nick's got some music.
Oh yeah, I went viral. The music genre that I work in is like gay pop music. So I had a sound go viral on TikTok. So my music career is really about to blow up. Shoes, Private Yachts Caviar, more shoes. My single, it may be dropping soon, possibly.
Oh,
I would keep an eye. I know.
Well, listen, at the end of this year, you should come. The two of you should perform at Homo Block, which is the biggest gay party in Manchester. Unbelievable.
Don't have to ask me twice.
You know, you got to come and rave at Homo Block. And try and see if you can get your buddy J-Lo. So that's the thing, though. Sorry, but when J-Lo follows your you've got to DM them. You've got to say hello. Otherwise, you're ghosting them. Like you've just blanked J-Lo, Nick.
I wouldn't, but I just didn't know what to do. Because I'm like a real proper famous person, you know?
Maybe she was hoping for like early access to part 2.
Well, Kim K was like, I don't want to wait any longer. Yeah. And I was like, they won't give it to me.
Didn't Kim Kardashian send you clothes? Did she send you like a shearling?
I'm wearing Skims today, actually.
Really?
So these are clothes that Kim Kardashian sent you?
Yes.
I mean, just think, let's go back to the...
Makes you sound like her little cousin.
No, but let's go back to the 15-year-old or 16-year-old Nicola Coughlan and go, oh, by the way, in like 20 years' time, this is going to be happening to you.
Oh, you could go to the 29-year-old Nicola Coughlan who's working in an optician. She'd be pretty shocked about it. I'll tell you that for free.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, who would you most like to meet, Luke? Who would be the kind of person that you know? Because we were doing this on the show yesterday about celebrities that you'd stood next to and not being able to speak to. Who would that be for you?
I think like Steve Carell. Because we love The Office.
Love The Office.
And I saw a recent clip of him, and I just think, I love like improv. Any actors that just like thrive in that improv environment. I just think they'd be so quick, and I'd love to meet him, but I'd also wouldn't know what to say to him, and I'd be like, have you seen my show? I don't know. I've seen everything you've done. You're amazing.
I want to see you in the new Office. They're doing a new one. I'm putting that out there. Could we both come in and play different characters? I would like.
We could do. It could be like us at our promo tour, being like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
You're just too famous now.
No.
You're too famous now.
No.
So what's the career trajectory, right? So you're on this huge show, and it kind of suddenly all of these doors open, don't they?
Well, they do and they don't in a funny way, and that's sort of what I weirdly like. I don't know if I'm a sucker for punishment, but I quite like the having to go back and prove yourself again, because you want to get jobs on merit, not on what I do anyway.
Yeah, totally.
But like, I am about to start shooting a film called The Magic Faraway Tree that's one of my idols, Michael Palin. He's the only person I've ever met, and I know I can't believe he's in the movie. Like, it's beyond a dream, honestly. But I had to, go back and audition for that. It's not like that you are like, here's loads of things, but it's quite nice having to like be like,
oh, totally,
I'll go and prove myself again, and I'll prep and I'll do this. It's this.
I feel on edge with an offer. I'm like,
same.
Make me work for it. Maybe it is the actor's thing of like wanting to suffer. Like, make me.
Yeah, because we've grafted to get to this point, so it feels like there should be a little bit of graft in there still.
Yeah, but surely there's got to be, especially now with season 3 of Bridgerton, where you two are right front and centre of it. There's got to be a little bit of the ego that goes, oh, I'm Nicola Coughlan. I mean, surely you know who I am.
No.
I can't ever.
Luke has now met my Irish family, so he will tell you for a fact.
Yeah.
That ain't me.
No, I can't imagine you ever
or are you?
Be like, I think when you were auditioning for something when we were in Australia, and we literally had 5 minutes, and you jumped into the hotel and you got your camera out and did, and I was like,
that was Magic Faraway Tree.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Like, real grafter through and through.
Yeah, but there's a scene where the Duke of Hastings and he can't believe that Daphne doesn't know who he is. But he can't believe it. Come on, how far away are you from that when you're introduced, Luke, to someone and go, look, I'm in on the joke.
I'm still blown away by the scale, and it feels, and maybe it's the way that we kind of like, we are in the show when we shoot it. We're like in a studio out west of London.
Yeah, it's a warehouse. Like, it's not glam.
And it's just like, we all just get in there and like film this little show. And obviously, from filming season 1 and having no idea what the response was going to be, and it just felt like this project that we were all working on together. It still takes, I still can't appreciate when people recognize us or like see. I'm still like, I mean, I've seen the numbers and I know the facts, but I'm still just like, I can't believe you watch it. It's so nice.
But you're in LA or doing an in-style piece. You're doing a piece for Harper's Bazaar in some incredible, look like Versailles. I think you look like Nicola.
It was Goodwood.
Oh, right, wearing these extraordinary dresses. I mean, none of this is normal.
No, but then
until it becomes your normal.
On our off times, I think we both very much appreciate the switching off and coming back to ourselves and I was in full Adam Sandler mode with like a big jumper and shorts and
that recharge.
It's nice to just turn it all off.
Yeah.
Do you go back to dressing like Avril Lavigne to remind you of your childhood vibes? Nicola?
I mean,
wasn't that one of the videos you made?
Yeah. So Luke, we had dinner with my family and my best friend from childhood, Eli and her sisters, and we used to make the Avril Lavigne videos with them.
Yeah.
There's still something in me. I think that's why a lot of millennials love Olivia Rodrigo, because it's giving us those Avril flashbacks.
Yeah.
So there's something in that. Yeah, actually, a lot of big hoodies and actually maybe I found my style at 16 and I've just been like, that's it.
And Luke, I think you may have been successful, because I was at a fashion week thing the other day, of bringing back skinny jeans. I think, because I know you used to wear very tight skinny jeans.
Yeah, I've mentioned that in an interview and I instantly regretted it. So I think I said like, what's a fashion thing that I'm happy to say goodbye to? Yeah. But I think they are coming back.
They are.
I'm like, tell him about your haircut.
My haircut. Oh yeah, so I went to get my haircut yesterday and I go to the barbers, like just literally on the corner of where I live. And they don't know like what I do. It's all just, I just go in like every couple of weeks And he was suddenly really pleased to see me. And I was like, I don't really, well, what's going on here? He was like really happy. He was like getting me a cup of tea. And I was like, this is nice treatment. And he told me that some guy had come in yesterday and asked for a haircut and shown a picture of me. And then the guy said, how do you know this guy? Like, I cut his hair. Like, who is he? And he was like, he's an actor and my girlfriend has requested that I get this haircut. So, I think I'm now flavour of the month at my local barber's. But I still had to pay. So.
Okay. Nicola, I can't see, but is Luke nurturing a mullet at the back there?
Yeah, sort of a little change here.
Yes.
But yeah, I know.
It was that trip to Australia that did it for me, you know.
How much more of this promo tour do you have to do now?
One day.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're still, both of you are still so kind of happy and charming and like,
we enjoy it though.
Yeah, we've had such a nice time. It's been a huge experience.
Yeah.
You know, we've literally traveled the world for 6 months, but we got like the other night in Galway, as I said, we sat down, had dinner with my family and friends, and it was nice. It was just like the recharge we needed. Yeah. My brother-in-law kept trying to get him drunk on Guinness. You did well to escape.
It was lining them up.
Kept ordering drinks, and I was like, "Stop! He's English. He's not used to this level."
Wow, she went straight into Derry Girls' discrimination against the English again. He's English. He can't.
Well, it's what it is. He can't take it. He can't take it. No, but I think we had a little recharge over the weekend. I think because now we know it's the end, and we have our premiere tomorrow, and that's the end.
You know, we've seen beautiful places. We've been to like
insane.
These towns in Australia we will never visit in our lifetime. And
no.
Brazil, Toronto, New York, it's been wild.
Would you say that you are good at living in the moment and understanding just how wonderful this all is?
I think this experience has almost forced us to be like that.
100%.
Because you can't think about what's next. You have to. And you won't enjoy. And I want to look back in whatever it is, 5 years, 10 years, and look back and go, you know, we're the first like pair within this show to have this experience. Everyone else, it was like in lockdown and restrictions, and we've been able to have.
Bonnie was doing a play. Yeah, we didn't travel.
Yeah,
and
so we've had
an amazing experience. We've been so lucky.
So I really try each time to go, what is today or what is this week, and like even you know after the premiere and tomorrow, like. Next week's plans are not even in my thoughts. It's just all what's happening right now.
I'm the same. It can kind of baffle people sometimes. They say, what are you doing tomorrow? And I'll go, I don't know. And like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but I have to just put my head in this right now. Yeah. And it's why, like, you know, people are like, are you sad it's coming to an end? And in a way I am. It's bittersweet, but also I don't think we could have gotten any more out of it than we did. It's been really special.
Yeah.
Do you keep a diary?
No, I'm not good at that.
I don't know. You know what I'd like to do is like put all the voice notes that I've sent to people over the last 6 months together and just listen to them and listen to how listen to all the updates. Maybe I'll go through the voice chat and be like, that was wild. Like we were all over the world. And
yeah, I just remember in Australia when we were stood at the end of the property and there was a kangaroo scratching himself and it looked like a man in a suit. And just all that mad stuff we haven't. I actually cried the other day in Galway because I started like feeling all my feelings all at once and was like, oh my God, it's coming to an end.
And your mum was there.
Yeah, it was very emotional. Well, then I cried twice that day.
Yeah.
And lastly, there is a scene, Luke, in season 3 where you do cry, don't you? Where there was a point where you're actually being very angry, but something came out in you. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was kind of it was a night shoot. It was towards the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think not only did like the whole experience of season 3 all come together, it felt like the experience of all 5 years. It felt like this was like a real defining moment of a shift in their relationship. And you know, it was written out in a certain way, and we did play that, and there are moments of that in the final cut, but both of us, it just
couldn't stop crying.
Really took us, and we then the director jumped in and was like, can we get another take of that? And I think both of us were just like, yeah, we're like this for the rest of the night. It was like 4 a.m.
We're both like sensitive Sallies, so
But it was like, now looking back, I'm like, it's perfect because it's meant to be a mix of emotions. That particular scene,
so good in that scene,
meant to be everything.
Well, congratulations on season 3 of Bridgerton.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful to have you on the show. So thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Take care. Nicola Coughlan and Luke Newton. Bridgerton. Season 3 is available on Netflix. There's still, of course, Season 1 and Season 2 to watch as well. Just don't ask them any questions about it because, gosh, they've had to do so much. Anyway, it's now 26 minutes to